All right, let's dive into the story of a guy named Dwight Lyman Moody. Now, maybe you've heard the name, maybe not, but his impact, absolutely staggering. What's so wild about him, though, isn't just what he did, but where he came from. You just wouldn't expect it.
So, this is the big question, right? The puzzle we're trying to solve. How does the guy who sells shoes for a living—
I mean, a guy with hardly any schooling, notoriously bad grammar, and, let's be honest, zero charisma when it came to public speaking.
How on earth does that guy manage to get a response from over 1 million people? I mean, 1 million people. It just doesn't add up, does it? The resume doesn't match the results. So yeah, that's what we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so to figure out how he had such a massive reach, you gotta look past the numbers and get to know the man. His story, it's not about being born with some amazing gift or coming from a wealthy family. Nope, it's about a heart that was just completely on fire for one thing.
So, who was this D.L. Moody? Well, officially, he was a shoe salesman who became an evangelist, and his passion? It sparked massive revivals in both America and across the pond in Britain. But what's really interesting is how people talked about him. It was always about what he didn't have. You know, he's not very educated, his grammar is awful. But the key to everything, the real secret sauce, is in that last part, a heart that burned for the lost. That was his superpower. That was the engine driving the whole thing.
And this is where it gets really good. If you measure him by the world's yardstick, he just doesn't stack up, right? A shoe salesman who can't speak properly. But if you use a different measuring stick, he's an absolute giant. And why? Because his heart was on fire. He was full of God. He was completely 100% all in. See, his power didn't come from the stuff we usually think is important. And check this out, this is Moody himself talking. He actually came to faith because his Sunday school teacher, a guy named Edward Kimball, took the time to talk to him. And he never forgot that. So for him, this wasn't a job, it wasn't a career. He saw the world as a sinking ship, and God had handed him a lifeboat and basically said, Moody, go save everyone you can. That picture, that urgency, that's what got him out of bed every morning.
Okay, so you've got this mission, this burning fire. But what happens when things get tough? And they always do, right? Crowds get bored, critics get louder, and that little voice in your head starts whispering that you're not good enough. So what kept him going? This really gets to the core of who he was, the engine behind his never-quit attitude.
It all came down to this one verse from the Bible. For Moody, this wasn't just some nice quote to put on a wall. This was his life's mission statement, his personal constitution. The goal was never about being comfortable or famous. It was just, finish my course with joy. He knew he had one job, and he made a decision that absolutely nothing was going to stop him from doing it. So when he says, none of these things move me, what's he talking about? Well, think about it. Listeners who just stare back at you cold as ice. Other leaders who are proud and maybe a little jealous. His own nagging insecurity about not being educated enough. Not to mention constant criticism and just failing a lot. Any one of those things could make a person want to quit. But for Moody, they were just bumps in the road, things to get past.
Look, his story is incredible, for sure. But the real reason we're talking about it is because of what we can learn from it. Right now, today. It all kind of boils down to a few really simple but super powerful ideas for how to live a life that actually means something.
It's basically a 3-step playbook. Step 1, start small. God loves using ordinary people. I mean, Moody is exhibit A that you don't need some stellar resume. Step 2, value the individual. He never, ever forgot that it was just one guy, his Sunday school teacher, who changed his life. That one conversation changed the world. And step 3, the big one, just keep going, no matter what. Finish the race.
And you know, it's so easy to look at a guy like Moody and think, well, I could never do that. I can't speak to thousands of people. But his own life screams that that's not the point. The whole principle works whether you're talking to a stadium full of people or just one person. You might not feel qualified, but Moody's life is proof. If your heart's in the right place, that's all the qualification you need.
Here's another great line from him that is just so relevant. We live in a world that is obsessed with image, right? With reputation, with what people think of us. Moody's focus was the complete opposite. He said, my job is to take care of my character. God will handle my reputation. He just focused on being the right kind of person on the inside and let the outside stuff just happen. Man, what a powerful, freeing way to live.
And this might be the most powerful idea he left us with. After everything he did, all the people he reached, he didn't see himself as the finished product. He saw himself as just a glimpse of what could be.
He was basically saying, hey, look what God can do with a flawed guy like me. Now imagine what he could do with you. It's not prideful at all. It's challenge. A question that he just kind of leaves hanging in the air for all of us to think about.